Hey everyone, it's Derek here, and today I'm bringing you some coverage of one of the final Silph Arena tournaments that I got to play in Season 1. This is a Mirror Cup tournament that was held in Fitchburg, Wisconsin. Thanks a lot to Becca who hosted this tournament. Really appreciate everything that you're doing for our community. So I know the season's over here, but I wanted to bring you guys some content, and I had these matches recorded. So round one here is going to be against Nitro Buster. Nitro Buster is a great local player. We play quite a bit in tournaments. I think you've seen him in a previous video, and spoilers, you may very well see him in future videos as well. But getting right into the match here, I go ahead and start Alolan Muck, and he opens with Qwilfish. In my opinion, Alolan Muck is a pretty safe lead in the Twilight Cup format, which is why I like to bring it, especially against what his team overall is. So as you can see here, I'm going for a Dark Pulse, which he does go ahead and block. Maybe should have gone for the Acid Spray, but it is what it is there. I'm going to go ahead and keep attacking here. I do get off another Dark Pulse here, and at this point, he goes ahead and actually goes down, so he does not shield that, so we're 1-1 on shields. He does take out my Muck, but I am going to go ahead and have switch priority here, which is fantastic. I get a great matchup here with the Golbat versus the Toxicroak. He does switch out into the Azumarill. I consider what I'm going to do here. I decide to not shield and let that Ice Beam go. I'm going to go ahead and try and bait the shield here, and he does throw up that shield. So really happy that I didn't go for the Sludge Bomb, and I actually do get it off here at the very last second before fainting. So no shields remaining on his side, one still on mine. As you can see, my Toxicroak does go down, but I'm able to shield this Ice Beam here. I'm able to go ahead and knock out the Azumarill with just fast attacks, and he brings in his Toxicroak again. I'm going to go throw a Shadow Ball here at this now, and that goes ahead and takes him out. So I'm up one game here going into this round one. So now going into game two of round one, we're going to see what our leads are here. I go ahead and I lead Tentacruel on this one, and he leads Golbat. Maybe should have stuck with my strategy of the Alolan Muck. That is just what I prefer in the Twilight Cup, but I did something different. So I go ahead and switch into Mirror here, and I go with Golbat. I do shield his Shadow Ball. He brings in Tyranitar, and now I'm trapped. So gonna do the most that I can here with the Golbat. I go for a Poison Fang, just trying to get off maximum damage that I possibly can. Both of my attacks are gonna be resisted by the Tyranitar, so it's just a matter of whatever I can do. I go ahead and I bring in the Toxicroak here. I'm able to knock out the Tyranitar, and he brings back in the Golbat. I'm still trapped at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go and try and burn a shield if I can. I'm not able to. I am able to switch out here, though, so at least I'm able to preserve the Toxicroak a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and try and get off as many fast attacks as possible to go ahead and build up energy. And I go ahead and I shield that attack. So now I'm going to go ahead and get off a Poison Fang here. He does shield that, so I'm able to bait that shield out of him. I'm going to get off another Poison Fang here, and he goes ahead and shields that. So we're both at 0 shields here. I'm not in a great spot in this matchup, though. So unfortunately, my Tentacruel goes down, and all I've got left here is this Toxicroak. So I'm going to get off another Mud Bomb. That does knock out his Toxicroak, but he does have the Golbat remaining and comes in and knocks me out right away. So we're going to go to a game 3. This game 3 is going to be critical for this match, and we'll see what ends up happening. So getting into the action here. One of the things you might also be able to note from this series here is that I am super afraid of his Tyranitar. My team isn't overall great against it. I actually added Tentacruel to my squad from the first few Twilight Cups that I had played in the Mirror Cup format. Anyways, we're in game 3 now, and I go ahead and I lead with that Alolan Muck. He goes ahead and he's got a Azumarill. I am going to shield the Ice Beam here, so we're both down a shield already. But I'm going to go ahead and hammer away here, trying to go ahead and get off an attack. I go ahead and decide to not shield that, and at this point I'm going to go ahead and get off a Dark Pulse. Alright, so the Azumarill does go down. I have a little bit of energy left, not sure if I'm going to get to another attack, and I am just shy of that Acid Spray. So we go ahead and bring in the Golbat. So we're in a Golbat v Golbat mirror. He does get off a Shadow Ball. I decide to not shield that. I go ahead and shield the next attack, though. And then at this point, I am just looking to bait a shield if possible. So I do get off that Poison Fang, and that Poison Fang does draw the shield, which leaves me with enough energy here for a Shadow Ball, and I am able to knock him out. So we're at 0 shields. I go ahead and flip out here into the Toxicroak, At 0 shields, I do have to go ahead and take this, but I do get off a Mud Bomb here. Mud Bomb should do decent damage and does knock out the Skuntank. So round 1 goes my way. Great games, Nitro Buster. My second round here is going to be against 4DeCarrot. 4DeCarrot's an up-and-coming PvP player in our area. He's done fairly well in the last few cups here. And Gardevoir and Tyranitar are both a pretty large threat overall to my team. So have to play this pretty carefully. We're going to see how we lead this off. I go ahead and open with the Alolan Muck. He does lead Gardevoir, so he is going to switch out because otherwise he's going to go down real quick there. I get off a Dark Pulse here with the new switch in, which he does take, and then I go ahead and try and switch out here. I actually fail that switch out, which is unfortunate. I go ahead and take this Mud Bomb and my Alolan Muck goes down. I bring in a Azumarill here, which should do pretty decent overall against the Toxicroak, but I do need to shield this in case it's a Sludge Bomb. It was. Great shield on my part. At this point, I have a Charge Move fully powered. I flip out because Tentacruel versus Azumarill is a terrible matchup. We get off the Foul Play, and we're going to go ahead and grab a shield off of that Tentacruel. I'm debating on the shield here. I throw up the shield. If that would have hit me and would have been a Hydro Pump, would have been real bad news bears, but he does bring back in the Gardevoir at this point. Gardevoir goes down to a Foul Play, and I'm able to get off another Foul Play on the Tentacruel now. So that does grab his last shield. At this point, Sableye's probably going down, and it definitely is. I am able to bring back in the Azumarill that has all the energy built up, and despite this not being a great matchup, I do have tons of energy here, and I am able to go ahead and take out the Tentacruel for game 1. So game 1 goes in my favor. That's awesome. Otherwise, like I said, really fearful of the Gardevoir and Tyranitar. So I go ahead and open with the Sableye here, and he opens with Skuntank. This is kind of a weird matchup. Skuntank's got a little bit more bulk overall, so it does do pretty decent damage, and it is able to last quite a while. I decide to not shield this at all, and the Crunch does so much more damage because of that Ghost typing. I do get off one more Foul Play here, so this is either going to do a decent chunk or get shielded. It does a decent chunk, so he has burned a shield at least at this point. My Sableye is down though, so I bring in the Alolan Muck. Alolan Muck is going to take a hit from the Skuntank. It is a Crunch, which does have maybe a third or so of health. He switches into Toxicroak, and I'm out. I need to get out of there as fast as possible. I shield this. That was really dumb. He didn't have enough energy yet for a Sludge Bomb. Shouldn't have shielded that at all. I do go ahead and get off the Play Rough here, though, which does burn a shield. Probably should have baited with the Ice Beam. Here I shield again, and he gets me again with the Mud Bomb. I think out loud to him right here. I said that was great shield baiting on his part. I should not have fallen for that. He's able to bring in the Tentacruel here. I'm going to be in real bad shape. Ice Beam doesn't do anything against it. I do flip out into the Alolan Muck, get off a Dark Pulse here. That Dark Pulse does not too bad of damage at all, but if this is a Hydro Pump, I'm gone, and it is. So Azumarill with almost no health left gets Fast Attack down, and that was a terrible, terrible game on my part. So going into a game 3, I suppose. And in game 3, I go with my trusty Alolan Muck. He opens Skuntank again. So Alolan Muck versus Skuntank, pretty 50-50. He does flip into the Toxicroak. I get off an Acid Spray here that is going to make the already fragile Toxicroak even more fragile. And I flip into the Azumarill now. Azumarill took a Sludge Bomb. I thought it was not a Sludge Bomb, so that was real, real bad. But I am able to take out the Toxicroak. It did decent work on me here. I wanted to get off that Ice Beam and apparently didn't quite get it off in time. That's pretty sad. Already was in bad shape there with Tentacruel v Toxicroak. At this point, I do need to burn the shield. It is an Acid Spray, but again, if it was Hydro Pump, I was done and over with. So Mud Bomb gets off. He shields. He's out of shields. I've got one remaining. At this point, I don't believe this is a Hydro Pump, but actually, no, I do believe it was a Hydro Pump, and I shielded it. He switches out. I switch out in return. So we've got a low muck versus Skuntank right where we started here, trying to hammer away to get off a charge attack, and I do get off the Dark Pulse here. Dark Pulse is almost going to take out the Skuntank, but not quite. He does farm me all the way down, and unfortunately we're in bad shape here. And he gets off the Sludge Bomb, which knocks me out. I was trying to save the energy because I would have needed it for his next Mon. So we're 1-1. Now I'm up against Guy 47. He plays in our area from time to time. He doesn't go to all the tournaments or anything like that. He plays, every cup or two. But he goes ahead and leads with the Quillfish here. I lead Golbat. And it's not great. Quillfish does tons of damage, and Aqua Tail hurts real bad for charging as fast as it does. I think Quillfish is underappreciated by both myself and a lot of the rest of the community. So I'm just going for Poison Fangs here. I overcharge to try and bait the shield. It doesn't work. So I'm going for another one here just to do as much damage as possible. At this point, I let the Golbat actually use a shield here to be able to take it down so I can go ahead and get switch priority here. He brings in his Golbat. I go for a Poison Fang, and that still doesn't get a shield. He's being so conservative with his shields, which is great play on his part. I do have Tentacruel here versus the Golbat, and he air cutters me. I was a little floored with the air cutter. Not something you normally see from a Golbat in this meta. I do get off an Acid Spray. He's still got all of his shields here, which is incredible. Really thought he would have used them by now. There's another air cutter, and I'm just trying to get up enough energy here, a little over farm a little bit. Acid Spray, he finally shields one, so I finally baited a shield on him here, and we simultaneously KO. I wait to see what he's got, and immediately I bring in my Golbat, and it faints. So we're at Toxicroak v Toxicroak. It's pretty much a race to the charge moves here. I have no shields remaining, and he takes me out with a shield still remaining on his side. So didn't need to be as conservative as he did on those shields, but he was. So going into game 2 of this round 3, and we've got Muck versus Quillfish here. So Quillfish continues to do work for him, and we are going to shield the Aqua Tail. I want to keep the Muck as big and bulky as possible. I go for the Acid Spray here. He does not. I should have gone for the Dark Pulse since I realize he is so conservative with the shields. I shield the second Aqua Tail, so I'm already down to no shields here. I do go for the Dark Pulse this time, and he doesn't shield, so that does take out the Quillfish. He's got Golbat. I thought about switching out, and then I decide to not. I go for the Acid Spray here to try and lower his defense. It does burn a shield in the process as well, which is awesome. And now we've got Golbat v Golbat. He switches out immediately into his Muck, and I go ahead and flip out into the Toxicroak. I'm like, we are not having any of this right now. In the Golbat v Golbat, I should have advantage. So I go for the Mud Bomb here, which takes him out. He still has a shield remaining, though, and he's able to take me out in return. So I get off a Poison Fang here with the energy that I've got built. I'm almost able to knock him out. He didn't shield it for some reason. I don't know why, and it sounded like he may have stopped paying attention to the match, thinking that it was over, and I'm able to take him out there. So not sure why he didn't shield, but he didn't. So I won that game, and we're going to a game 3 because of it. So flexing with the shiny Azumarill, love it. I've got Toxicroak here to open this. Gonna try and bait his shield, looks like, or at least was going to try to bait his shield. So I do go for the Mud Bomb here, and we do not grab a shield. So he is really conservative with these, and I've already had to burn a shield now because of it. I go into the Muck here. I do shield this, and it's a play rough, so good shield on my part. I'm going to fast attack this all the way down if possible, and I am able to. So I've got a pile of energy here. He brings in the Quillfish. I go for the Acid Spray, and he doesn't shield. Should have gone for the Dark Pulse again. I don't know why he is so conservative with those, but I go for another Acid Spray, and I'm like, screw it at this point. This thing is getting fast attack down. I'm doing what I can to just murder this guy. This Quillyfish is too much, and he is too much with his shields. So how many times have we been 0 shields to 2 versus him in this 3-game series? So he's left with a Toxicroak at this point, though, because he hasn't used any of those shields, and I picked fairly really well versus him. I'm in a pretty good spot here. We do have Tox v Tox. He is going to take me out with this Mud Bomb, but I am able to bring back in the Golbat here. Got a bunch of energy, a bunch of health, positive matchup, and I'm able to go ahead and build up some extra energy. I go all the way up to a Shadow Ball here, and that Shadow Ball does go through, so that is the end of that game. So good game, Bry Guy. Do appreciate it. And we're going into a final round 4 here versus Vicky Ravi. Vicky Ravi hasn't played in a while in our area. I'm not sure if he's been playing somewhere else in the meantime, but I don't think I've seen him around since Tempest Cup. But anyway, so we're here with Alolan Muck versus the Alolan Raticate. So Alolan Raticate does do decent damage. I shielded the last second and I got baited. Man, I should not have shielded that Crunch. Really wish I wouldn't have. I let this one go through because of it. And this time it's a Hyper Fang and it does serious damage. So at least I am able to get off some damage on him. I do take out the Raticate here, but I'm down a shield at this point. I maintain switch advantage though, thankfully. So he brings in Golbat, knocks me out. Neither of my Mons are super good against the Golbat, but I go into the Tentacruel just because. I know the Tentacruel is able to stand up and has some bulk to it overall. So I fast attack this thing until an Acid Spray. We're going to see if we can grab a shield, and we do. Probably not the greatest shield on his part because I did not have enough energy for the Hydro Pump, but that's all right. I let the Poison Fang go through here. I almost switch, and then he gets off one more Poison Fang. Here I'm going to switch out into the Sableye, and I'm just going to try and farm this thing down. I have that shield here, which I go ahead and use. And he switches out into the Toxicroak. I go for a Foul Play here, which should do decent damage or get shielded, and it gets shielded. So now we're even on shields. This should be a Mud Bomb, I believe. It is. Mud Bomb does not knock me out, however, though, so I'm able to get off a Foul Play. Foul Play should almost take him out. He's got a little health remaining. I'm able to fast attack him down with the tiniest sliver of health. Golbat does take me out in return. But here comes an Acid Spray, and this thing has had its defense lowered plenty of times and does get knocked out. So super close game 1, but I am able to take it. Going into game 2 here, we're going to see if he maybe changes up his strategy a little bit at all, or if I change mine, and I do. I lead with a Azumarill here. It's really the first time I've had a good shot to use Azumarill today. It's pretty decent versus the majority of his team. So he does have that Toxicroak there. I do shield because he built up a bunch of energy, and it was a Sludge Bomb. I get off an Ice Beam in return, which he shields. And here I'm going to go ahead. I was about to switch, and he goes and brings in the Alolan Raticate. I'm thinking that's great. Go ahead. So I Play Rough here. He does shield the Play Rough, so good shield on his part. Questioning still bringing in the Alolan Raticate in the first place. Hyper Fang does just a chunk of damage, but not a ton. Again, Azumarill has this massive bulk behind it. I get off that attack, and at this point here, I go ahead and let the Azumarill down. It's done great work for me. I do appreciate it a lot. And we flip into the Sableye. He flips out right away, though, and brings back in that Toxicroak. I shield this Mud Bomb. That's questionable on my part overall. Was going to fast attack this thing down and then realized I probably can't. So I build up some extra energy and then go for a Foul Play. Almost to another attack, I build up and I go for the Power Gem this time. Power Gem, fairly underutilized attack, does great damage versus that Golbat. It is super effective after all. He doesn't do anything in return. I fast attack him down, and that is the end of that. So, end of the tournament here, I do finish 3-1, and as you can see, 3-way tie between Forticarrot, G-Bikachu, and myself. So thank you so much for watching my video here. Thank you for watching the tournament, and thank you for Becca putting it on. Great job for Forticarrot. This is his first time finishing on the top of one of these tournaments, and great job to everyone who came out and played. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.